So guys, welcome to BRD Nation. As you guys know that we are big believers of efficiency in trading, right? We want to be as efficient as possible when we are trading because it helps us save time and money. And that is the reason why we have made a bunch of videos on different features of different platforms. So do check them out whenever you get some time. And today's topic is going to be another one in the series where we will talk about a feature which makes our trading process more efficient. And the feature that I'm talking about is that of basket orders. So what are basket orders? Well, basket orders are an interesting feature in Zerodha through which you can place multiple orders at the same time. Now, some of you will say that if I have to place multiple orders, I will just place them directly. What is the need of creating a basket order? Well, that's a good question. So here is the thing, guys. If you are not an active trader and if you basically have to place a few orders every once in a while, then you don't need the basket order functionality. But if you're an active trader, you will find the functionality of basket orders very efficient because like in my case, I place hundreds of orders sometimes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, as you guys know. And sometimes it becomes very hard to track them because there is no logical grouping as such that where I can see that, okay, this group of orders, did they get executed or are they pending? Like what's really going on with them? So in that sense, these basket orders, they provide a great benefit because I can see them, I can track them in one go without having to sift through hundreds of orders. Now the real benefit of basket orders is actually for option traders and I will talk about that benefit later in the video. But let me first talk about how basket orders work. So let's say for example, I want to buy shares of two companies, Asian Paints and Ultratech Cement. So for that, first of all, you have to go to the orders tab and within the orders tab, you have to go to baskets. Now, once you reach to this screen, you will find some existing basket orders if you have already created them before. And you can also create new baskets by clicking this button. So let's create a new basket order. Now, the first thing that we have to do is we have to give a name to the basket. And I would suggest that, don't give some random name like basket 1, basket 2, make something more intuitive so that later you can remember exactly why you placed that order, right? So in this case, I'm doing for long-term investments. So I'm just going to say investments. Now, after we give the name, we have to add orders to this basket. And it is pretty simple. Right? What I have to do is I have to just search for the stock name, select it, and then this order entry screen will pop up. Now, this is just a regular order entry screen. We just have to make sure that we are giving all the details correctly, whether it's a buy order or a sell order, what is the quantity, what is the price, is it a limit order, is it a market order, everything that we normally do, we have to do it here. And once we are done, we just have to say add. Now remember, when you say add, you're not placing that order. At this stage, the order is not placed. It is only been added to the basket, as you can see here, right? Now, what you can do is if you hover over this row, you can do a bunch of things. You can copy this row to create another row, right? Or you can edit that order, or you can even delete it. So my Asian Paints is done. Now let me add the other stock, Ultratech Cement, right? And for that, I will follow the same steps. So guys, this is how basically you can create basket orders, and within one basket orders, you can go up to 20 orders, right? And when everything is done, all you have to do is click on the execute button. Now, one thing to note here is that the word execute is a little misleading, right? Because what this button is basically doing is only placing these orders. Now, whether or not these orders will get executed is up to the conditions that you have specified in your orders, right? So for example, in my case, I placed two orders, one for Asian Paints, another for Ultratech Cement, but Asian Paints got executed, but the one for Ultratech Cement got rejected because my cash balance was tied up in some other trades, right? So the system did not have any cash balance to execute the trade. So, and after you have placed the basket orders, you can always come back to the basket to track the progress. No need to track each of them separately, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why we use the orders. Now, the other thing that Zerodha has given is that, you can see these active orders minimized for easy access. Now, for me, sometimes it looks a little annoying because I don't want anything blocking my screen, but I think it's also a handy feature for some of you. So you can just directly click on this little icon and then you can get the quick access to the basket orders. So guys, that is basically how basket orders work in Zerodha. Now let me talk about the real benefits of these orders, which is in case of option trading. And let me take my own experience, guys. So as you guys know that I'm an active options trader and I am very, very active on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I mean, I literally place hundreds of orders on these days because I execute what is called as a expiry day strategy. And my quantity sometimes can be very huge. Right now, as you can see, they can be 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. And sometimes when I'm going big, I can even go to 10,000 or even 15,000. Now, if I have to build such a large position manually, I cannot do them in one shot because there is a system limitation of on the maximum quantity that you can have, right? So in case of Nifty, it is 1800. In case of Bank Nifty, it's something else. In case of stocks, it's something else, right? So if you have to build a bigger position like this, you need a more efficient way to place multiple orders. And the same thing goes with exiting these positions, right? If I have to exit these positions, I cannot just say exit and I can get out of all this quantity in one go. I have to place multiple orders because every order has a maximum limit. So what I do normally is that, let's say for example, in this case, for this particular trade, I use basket orders. And it's actually very easy because they have something called as a repeat functionality where you can just copy one order and then all you have to make sure that your overall quantity matches with the position that you are in, right? So that is one big benefit for the basket orders. But I think probably a bigger benefit of using a basket order is for those of you who want to take advantage of the margin benefits. So what exactly is margin benefit? Well, as some of you might be aware that SEBI, our market regulator, has incentivized traders to trade more responsibly, which means that anytime you hedge your position, you can trade with a smaller capital as compared to a trade where you are not hedging at all. So let me take an example for that. So let me create a basket order here. I'm just going to call it margin benefit demo, create. So let's say I want to sell 17,000 call option on Nifty, right? And the current price is around 200. So I'm just going to make it as a sell and I'm going to make it as a market order. Just going to add it. So as you can see here that if I have to sell one lot of this option, I have to provide a final margin of 82,000 rupees, right? Now here you will see that there are two fields, required margin and final margin. Well, required margin is the amount that you need to place all the orders in the basket, and final margin is the eventual margin that will be blocked in your trading account after all the orders get executed, right? So don't worry too much about the technicalities here. Final margin is what you really want to be focusing on. So right now, just for one lot, if I have to block 82,000 rupees, that seems like a lot of amount. So what I can do is I can buy an out of money option to reduce this margin requirement. So in this case, what we can do is I can buy a 17,500 call option, an out of money call option, and I will add it here. And you can see immediately from that 82,000 rupees, the final margin requirements has gone substantially down to only 35,000 rupees, right? So this is a great tool, guys. This is something which I like. In this basket order, you can, have multiple positions you can create and you can see what is the margin requirement. Now, there is one thing which is extremely important, which you need to understand here is that the sequence in which the orders are arranged here is the sequence in which these orders will be placed, right? So if you want to get the margin benefits, the best way to do it is to make sure that you drag this guy up. The buy should be executed first and then the sell should be executed, right? That is the only thing that you have to keep in mind, because once the buy gets executed, automatically you have the insurance. Because of the insurance or the hedge, the margin requirement for this trade will eventually come down. So that is it, guys. That is basically what I wanted to share with you guys in this video. I hope that you got the sense of what the basket orders are and how to use them. And now there are some other features which are here. You can export the basket, you can import the basket, you can analyze the position, and there are a bunch of other things you can try out. But the more you play around with this, the better you will understand. So I hope that you will experiment with this feature and hopefully benefit from its functionality.